The way forensic science is portrayed in the media, in terms of TV programmes or it's written about in books, is very, very different than how it happens in real life. But it has to be, because it needs to be entertaining.
Crime Story provides a real sort of fountain of information for anyone writing crime, I guess.
I came to the original Crime Story, which was in 2014, just as a punter. And I thought it was a fantastic weekend. You had a bunch of crime writers and readers who have access to people that you would never usually have access to. Senior detectives, judges, forensic specialists, and it was just fascinating.
What I really like about Crime Story is the premise of the mystery at the start by an established crime writer. And 2 years ago it was Anne Cleeves, and this year obviously Paula Hawkins.
So I've written a little scenario, as you know. This is just sort of a jumping off point.
It just gives it that extra edge.
The call came in at 19:43 p.m. A woman in extreme distress told the operator that her husband had been stabbed in their home. "I think he's dead," she said. "He isn't breathing. I don't think he's breathing. I tried to do CPR, but he's bleeding so much. I think I've made it worse."
I think having a curiosity is an essential part of being a forensic scientist, because you need to ultimately solve a problem, and that was one of the big pulls for forensic science as a career for me.
For me, it was the getting to talk to and getting to listen to the professionals who actually know how the real crime fighting happens.
The phone rings at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, and I get up and I'm driving into work. I've got a brief detail about what it is I'm actually coming into, but you never know what you're going to get when you go down to that crime scene, you know.
Two of the biggest cases that I have been involved in has been the murder of Joanna Yates and the reinvestigation into the murder of Stephen Lawrence. It was very useful for me to be able to go along to Crime Story and talk to budding writers. Crime is an area that's commonly poorly understood, and to enlighten them to actually how forensic science occurs.
It's getting the small details right, I think, which adds authenticity to your writing.
It was a difference between seeing an image and actually going into a live scene, you know, and feeling what it's like to go in there, you know, because a lot of people don't get the feel for it, you know, the smells. You're in there on your own. Sometimes if you've got a body in there with you, it's quite chilling, you know.
This is somebody's life you're talking about, it's not just a body. Their things are still around them, their clothes, their belongings, and that adds, you know, emotion to it that is important for a writer.
The reality is you're walking in there and it literally is still fresh from 20 minutes of something happening. One particular instance when I walked in and straight through, bath still full up, still very warm, steam coming from it, you know. You're walking into a house where it's been raining and you see the wet footprints and things like that.
Just these moments of normal life going on are sometimes the most powerful, and I think it's those that stick with me when you hear an expert talking, or a pathologist talking about getting used to the smell of a decomposing body and making a joke about it. You know, this is all real life stuff that is sometimes really difficult to make up, and that's what gives Crime Story such a richness, I think.